Justin Baldoni faces New York Times countersuit amid Blake Lively fallout. The legal and public battle surrounding the production of the film It Ends With Us, involving co-stars Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively, has escalated dramatically. Following the dismissal of Baldoni's own massive defamation suit, the New York Times has filed a countersuit against Baldoni's production company, Wayfarer Studios, seeking to recover legal costs under New York's anti-SLAPP law. Here is a detailed breakdown of the highly publicized and complex legal entanglement. 1. The origin. Lively's allegations and the Times reporting the entire legal saga originated from on-set conflicts during the filming of the movie It Ends With Us, an adaptation of the popular Colleen Hoover novel. Lively's complaint. December 2024. Actress Blake Lively, who stars in the film with Baldoni, filed a complaint with California's Civil Rights Department, CRD, alleging sexual harassment and a hostile work environment perpetuated by Baldoni, who also directed the film, and his Wayfarer Studios associates. Allegations included Baldoni making inappropriate comments and exhibiting disturbing behavior on set. The Times report. The New York Times subsequently published an article and video detailing Lively's allegations, citing internal communications and court filings. The reporting specifically mentioned allegations that Baldoni and his team had orchestrated a smear campaign against Lively after she raised concerns. 2. Baldoni's initial defamation lawsuit. Baldoni and Wayfarer Studios fiercely denied the allegations and immediately launched a legal counteroffensive, which included the New York Times as a primary target. Baldoni sues the Times. Baldoni and Wayfarer initially sued the New York Times for defamation, arguing the paper pushed a false narrative by relying heavily on Lively's unverified claims and manipulating communications to villainize him. The initial defamation suit sought $250 million in damages. The $400 million countersuit. Baldoni later amended and expanded his suit to include Blake Lively, her husband Ryan Reynolds, and their publicist. This massive $400 million lawsuit alleged civil extortion and defamation, claiming the couple conspired to damage his reputation and essentially seize creative control of the film by leaking the harassment claims to the media. 3. The dismissal and the legal turning point. The entire defamation action brought by Baldoni was ultimately dismissed by a Manhattan federal judge in June 2025. The judge's ruling. U.S. District Judge Louis J. Lyman ruled that the defamation claims against the New York Times lacked merit. The court found that the newspaper had accurately reported details contained in Lively's official CRD complaint, and therefore, their reporting was protected under New York's fair report privilege. The judge criticized aspects of the complaint, stating it did not meet the high legal standard required for defamation. Lively's case continues. While Baldoni's defamation suit was tossed, Lively's underlying sexual harassment and retaliation lawsuit against Baldoni and Wayfarer remains active, with a trial tentatively scheduled for March 2026. 4. The New York Times countersuit. The dismissal of Baldoni's $400 million case immediately paved the way for the counterattack from the New York Times. On September 30, 2025, the newspaper filed a lawsuit against Baldoni's Wayfarer Studios. Basis for the suit: anti-SLAPP law. The Times complaint is filed under New York's anti-SLAPP strategic lawsuit against public participation statute. These laws are designed to deter powerful entities from filing meritless, massive lawsuits specifically to intimidate, silence, or financially punish journalists and critics for exercising their free speech rights. The damages sought. The Times is seeking compensatory and punitive damages from Wayfarer Productions. Specifically, the newspaper is looking to recover the considerable legal costs, fees, and expenses estimated at least $150,000 incurred while defending against Baldoni's meritless $400 million claim. The Times argument. The newspaper argues that Baldoni's lawsuit was a clear example of using the legal system for harassment and intimidation rather than pursuing legitimate legal remedies. Baldoni's response to the countersuit. Baldoni's legal team has vowed to vigorously defend against the Times countersuit. His attorney framed the battle as a fight over accountability, criticizing media companies that use anti-SLAPP laws to seek damages following dismissed suits. This latest legal maneuver flips the financial tables on Baldoni's production company and highlights the severe legal and financial risks associated with pursuing high-stakes defamation claims against media organizations protected by anti-SLAPP legislation.